Wow. So this is the classic you were talking about.
Yeah, what do you thought that? No, dude.
So the Hero Honda Splendor of classics.
Yes,
Utter reliability.
at least in the reliability. और नाम में Honda भी है, Hero नहीं है तो भी. Yeah, this is nice.
So Showman, you've ridden a classic 500.
I had one.
You
Owned
had
one.
one, owned one.
Owned one.
There's-
And every time I got off the bike, I felt like I've got Parkinson's or something. So. See, even she understood.
Elsa, you understood that joke? Okay. Coming back.
Right, coming back.
So Showman, from a classic 500 owner's perspective, what's your view on this amazing machine?
So actually, this doesn't belong to me.
Hmm.
FYI. It's a friend's, and he's had a fracture, so he's like, just keep it running. So, and not like I'm going to say no. Quality and refinement wise, it is leaps and Superman leaps and bounds ahead.
But you're talking with reference to your classic 500.
Yeah, I still haven't ridden any of the new.
The J platform you haven't ridden, which is pretty decent.
Supposed to be pretty decent. I rode the new Himalayan. It was still vibey. So
yeah, but the
that's
Himalayan
again
is
on
not
the
from
older
the J platform.
So, but this is surprisingly quite nice. It's my friend's actually, and he had a fracture, so and I've obliged to take care of it for a few days. I'm back in Bombay, and I'm pleasantly surprised. Actually, I took it saying that yaar, classic chala nahi mil raha, but whatever I get. But I went to car and I came in extremely heavy traffic with the pillion and effortless. I mean, I couldn't find a easier going bike. And on the way back, I actually picked up a parcel, so and kept falling off. So actually, I had a one hand on the tank and all the time holding the parcel, and I rode the whole way on third, fourth, just few shifts here and there to move. Otherwise, it was easy. Like you don't need to keep much throttle. You don't need to have too many gear shifts. And car to Kanjurmarg, if people know this distance and how the traffic is, even in the
traffic
night,
is horrible.
yeah, even in the night. So not having to gear change that much, this was really really nice.
Okay.
And very refined engine. So the problem here is my puny brain is unable to comprehend the bike and the sound. I'll tell you why. Because we are so used to the duk.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we are so used to the duk. So when you hear the duk, you're also supposed to
feel the vibe below.
So in this bike, when I start and you're riding, you can hear the and you're like, but wait, what? It feels like somebody has artificially just put the sound.
And that's what actually Honda has done. They have actually engineered the exhaust
to sound good
in such a way that it sounds like a Royal Enfield, but it's got the utter reliability of a Honda.
Without the vibrations, like I said, without the Parkinson's of a Royal Enfield. So still have to see the J platform. So I'm like I always give the benefit of the doubt. So still have to see, but excellent mileage. Recently went halfway to Igatpuri and back, and the mileage is good. I think somewhere around 38, 37 is what I got.
Fair enough. 37.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
For a 21 bhp TS motorbike, and it's fair. It's a lot of train noise. We'll go to another location.
Let's do it. Yes. So Showman, please continue.
Yeah, so I mean, everybody has ridden the bike. Everybody has seen the specs and whatever jazz. I'll just give you a few things that I like for a day-to-day perspective, for somebody looking for a day-to-day use or a long-distance journey, or whatever you want to buy a classic, and why I would prefer this without testing the Royal Enfield. I'm saying that's why people still have a test drive. Always, like I say, go and have a test drive. So the things I like about this and things I don't like, I'll just put it forward. Things I like, it's very nimble. It's very very easy to ride in traffic, no issues, absolutely. Gear ratio is spot on for city. Now mark this when I say city.
But so the fifth gear is pretty tall anyways, right?
Yeah, but like you can come down to like 30 odd, but then still I think third, fourth is a good mix of riding in city. You don't feel the strain. Bike picks up, shoots instantly well. But then because the gear ratio is tall, the top end loses out on highway. So that I'll put it in the con. So pros wise, it's a very well managed gear ratio, very easy to ride, very flickable. The rake angle is perfect. moves very well. Suspension is ideal. It's not very bump, not too soft, neither it's too hard. Yeah, like I was saying earlier, my brain is unable to comprehend the tuk tuk with the tuk tuk. So
Yes.
it's the feeling, sorry, it's the sound without the feelings. Women may not like it, just saying they like it. Otherwise, the fuel efficiency is good. I did a decent long ride and back. City efficiency is also superb. Gears are flawless. You'll never have a slip. It's perfectly spot on. What else? What else do I say? The tank color looks good. Everybody's looking and like, oh, ye kaun sa color
Yeah,
hai?
and
Apne
then the
customize
matte
kiya.
finish.
Yeah, the matte
It
finish
looks
is good,
really
so,
But this is only subject to this limited edition model.
yeah, it has all the gizmos. It has
Why
like-
don't you explain us the gizmos also that comes with it?
I still have to go through it. I've not gone through it myself.
Okay.
So, and it's a little tedious to go through. That again will come with cons.
1 second.
There's some monies. I want to make the part of the video. Money ka chopper ja raha hai. This is the route they take because it's Reliance is straight down. Navale.
Oh. Huh, cool.
Another thing I like is, unlike the typical classic which vibrates, the mirrors don't shake much, so I can actually see what is behind. I don't have to pull in the clutch or leave the throttle to see. The seat is nice. It is sufficient, I would say. You won't, even on a long ride, your butt's not going to hurt.
Okay.
What else? Paint job is good. Fit and finish is superb. This bike has been dropped once, so you can go on the right and see. And I don't think there's any major damage. The guy is in a cuff, but this is fine. So close.
Cool. So this is your point of view regarding this. From a previous generation Royal Enfield owner, a big thumbs up for this particular bike.
But I also have cons.
Okay.
This is again nitpicking.
Okay.
And the headlamp is useless.
Is it?
Yeah.
Even though it's all LED and all that shit.
Yeah. So basically, it's just technology without the actual using its full potential.
Okay.
This is the headlamp, high beam.
Okay. I mean, it's pure. I'll take your word for it. Okay.
So I felt the headlamp is pretty useless. City made it's fine because we are pretty well lit. But on the highway, I luckily had a KTM behind me, so uska light isse aake jata tha.
Okay.
So you can understand how pathetic it is.
What about the suspension?
Suspension is really nice. Even on
It's
bad
soft.
undulations, those multiple rumblers kind of speed breakers, no, it doesn't lose control. It doesn't lose its composure.
Okay.
Con again, nothing is. I don't know why Honda does this. Why is the horn up and indicator down? My muscle memory took me like 2 rides to figure this out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is all the Hondas.
Okay. They're like, this is what we are, so
Huh.
deal with it. And
kya hai
also
ye?
they have a traction control
Yeah, so
for some reason.
so these are the controls here to go into traction, to move into your screen and everything. But frankly, it's very confusing. Like the couple of places where the highway is open and I'm still trying to look down and figure it out. It's very confusing. It was
The
like a struggle.
display is like next to nothing.
हाँ, उसमें वो लोग ने इतना सारा भर के दिया and then you're trying to figure out what is happening in that.
No, the funny part is the CB 500X doesn't have traction control,
So,
and
yeah,
this has traction.
this has
control.
traction control. That's another nice thing.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yes.
so she said it's very good. So get your kids on shoots. We got another Honda fan in the house. The throttle is nice, but because again the con is that because it's a tall gear ratio, it dies out. 110 is the bike like.
That's it. Just 110. That's all you could take it to.
Yeah, I took it very gradually, but still, like it towards 100 it was dying out. So I don't know, this is the run-in part of it or it's still.
But the funny part is my Pulsar 220F, say 14
So
years
those are
ago, could actually go up to 125 without a problem.
So those are high compression ratio bikes. These are long stroke bikes. So the torque is more here. It's not meant for performance, meant for the leisure ride, which it does. In city, it's quite easy to ride. Another thing was that the mirrors, though they don't vibrate, they're pretty small. So if they are not kept at a particular angle, and if you don't place them right, your actually body's covering the whole mirror, and you're like.
But again, this is, I mean, the mirror is something that you're trying to find out a flaw.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm nitpicking.
But then the engine top speed is a big disappointment, man.
Big time. But
Because again, this is not a city bike. This is supposed to be ridden on highways. Come on, this is a proper cruiser. It should at least cruise at 130, 140.
Maybe it's still because it's in run and let him do the first service.
How many kilometers done?
250. 250 odd kilometers done. And another thing is the indicators are always on. ये क्या है? मतलब ये.
Oh yeah, I've noticed that.
मतलब if you give the indicator, obviously that one blinks, but
I think it looks good.
It's only in front. It's not at the rear. And last but not least, my biggest disappointment is this bike feels like it can handle better. Maybe it can, maybe it not, but at least I feel that it has a much more better potential. Completely taken away by MRF. मतलब ये zapper ride feel को zap कर देते हैं.
Okay.
Like why do brands still go with MRF is a question.
Price.
Or forget price. Why do they MRF? I'm not saying it's a bad brand. They have some good tires. Why are they still going with zappers?
Yeah, these are the basic ones. These are the absolute basic ones.
No, it's like MRF is enforcing on brands कि नहीं तुम लोग को production में डालना है तो ये ले लो नहीं तो नहीं देंगे. But that is exactly how it feels. Like every brand every manufacturer, when the lowest range is putting zappers, like no, not on these bikes. No.
1 second. At least KTM has nice tires.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are the basic. They don't even have bloody. I mean, it's just basic. You can see the tire thread design as well.
And they're hard rubber. They're not in soft compound. Like if you really want me to fall, Rustam, all you have to do is go zoom doom. So it is that bad. So this is a few things I'm nitpicking, but otherwise the bike is nice. If I have to recommend a classic to somebody, I would pick this. I mean, hands down. You were looking at a SD and I said pick this. And after riding it, even your wife is in for it because considering the refinement, and you will have seen the SD also.
And the person who was going to buy a Royal Enfield, this is basically his bike.
Yeah, so he was buying a Royal Enfield, and I said, it being me, so I said, you know what, if you buy a Royal Enfield, when I meet you next, I'll put a burning matchstick into your tank. So I told him just go and try it out. And his family has had Royal Enfields before. So he went, he rode the bike. He rode the bike and he called me from there, bro, kya hai ye? Like I'm in love with it. He went the next day and he bought it. So that's the story of the Heights.
Cool.
The only question I got was sponsor color blue. Like he didn't even ask me the specification. Just he fell in that much in love with the bike.
It is
like, what is this? Feels so good.
Perfect, Sherman. So this is your view regarding the bike.
Yeah. So
now I think it's my turn to come in front of the camera. I'll explain my view regarding it.
Yep. So Rishi, that was my take. What is yours?
So I've actually ridden the J platforms.
Okay.
And
you've ridden the J platforms?
Yeah. So the generation that you owned, Royal Enfields, were horrible. Honestly, the J platform is like another level. It comes pretty close.
Another level? Seriously?
Yeah.
The chehra dekho.
The vibrations have drastically decreased.
Okay.
The reliability has improved. The acceleration has improved. Overall, it's a really
improved
good bike.
But I think to come to this reliability and feel...
I'll tell you who should purchase this bike and who should purchase the Royal Enfield.
Okay.
As simple as that. If you're a bike enthusiast, do not ignore the Honda. Test ride a Honda. Test ride a Royal Enfield. And if I'm a bike enthusiast, I will tend to lean towards the Royal Enfield because that feel aspect is there. Now, as you had mentioned, यहाँ पे you can just feel the exhaust. You can hear the exhaust, but it's as smooth as butter, and that's something that a person like you may prefer. But for me, I want to feel something between my legs.
That's what she said.
Yeah. I want to feel something like I'm riding something. This bike is just too smooth for me. It may be a plus point for other people, but a person like me, it isn't. I would still go for the Royal Enfield. But for 90% of the people who just want a bike to go from point A to point B.
A good reliable bike to go from point A.
A good reliable bike. A bike that represents the Hero Honda Splendor in the 350cc category. The Honda CB.
And that's not a bad thing, guys. I mean,
that's not
because the Splendor runs forever.
Exactly. This will not disappoint you.
We have puppies in the frame because...
So this bike will not disappoint you. If you want a bike that will start after 10 days as well, will just continuously run, which is 90% of the people, this is an amazing bike. Please go for it. But for the 10 people, okay. But for the 10% of the people who actually want a makes sense over there. Now, the advantage of this bike is
emotional damage.
that was the previous generation, as I mentioned. The Royal Enfield J platform obviously won't be as reliable as the Honda, but it still is a bike to be considered. Um, the in-gear acceleration, even though
The ride life.
the bike has enough torque to pull on any gear, the Royal Enfield, the pull is just that much easier. The top end feels far smoother on this bike as opposed to the Royal Enfield. So there's a mix and match over here. And personally, if I had to go for the Highness, I'd go for the RS version of the Highness because I find that more youthful. I find that far sexier to look at, and more importantly, it is far rarer to look at. Every second person has this model. Every second person owns a Royal Enfield. But the RS version, I feel, is something that you can really.
But RS does have it, like it doesn't have the Bluetooth. There's not much of difference in the handling. At the same time, the bike is more expensive for giving less. One thing is they have better tires, obviously.
It looks different.
Yeah, it looks different.
So if you want a bike that people want to stare at, or at least you feel that okay, this bike is not one of the 100 bikes parked in the parking lot, I wouldn't mind spending like 10,000-15,000 rupees more. It's something worth that extra money, according to me. I mean, again, this is a very emotional connect that I have with machines. If I want to buy a machine, I want it to look different, and the RS kind of fits in that particular category. But overall, there's nothing to complain about this bike. As I mentioned, it is
Except for my
utterly
complaints,
reliable.
those few niggles that I pointed out.
Except for what you mentioned, but again, I feel you mentioned that just for the sake of mentioning it. In terms of engine, refinement, again, it's just perfect. So this is my take. I would suggest test ride the J platform as well because I want a bike that feels I feel engaged on. This feels like a magical carpet. It's just going with exhaust that has been, that exhaust has been engineered to make that sound. The Royal Enfield, the exhaust is natural from that particular engine. They've actually engineered this Royal Enfield sound because they want to target the Royal Enfield people. But this is Honda. Again, this is just my view. Quite a few people just want to go from point A to point B and not bother about the maintenance or reliability. This is a perfect bike. Another backdraw is you can service this only in Honda Big Wing
That's
service center. So, best of luck if you are living in a tier 2, tier 3 city. Even if you do purchase this bike, the service center will be like miles away. So that I think is another.
So I'm in Goa, and going to the different thing is that every Tom and Harry and the enlargement in between can service the bike, but showrooms also far away. And Honda, will have to go to the showroom. I don't know whether everyone can do it, but a lot of guys locally also are managing to it because it's not that complicated a vehicle. But then, if you want to keep it in warranty, you have to take it to the service outlet, and even in 2-tier cities, they will be far away. Irrespective, even Royal Enfield is not that very common anymore. So
as common as a service center can get Royal Enfield. Come on, Royal Enfield and Hero Honda, that's everywhere. That is their USP.
Hero.
Hero.
So
overall, I think this is an amazing bike, and that's about it. You cannot go wrong choosing a Honda to begin with, and I feel finally people have an option to go
for a
away
better
from the
vehicle,
Royal Enfield, for a better bike, for a long stroke bike, and
without the niggles of the.
Exactly.
That's just me. Sorry.
The thing is, you won't find any of these bolts rusting. Royal Enfield, however good the J platform may be, you will always see something or the others rusting. The exhaust is rusting, the spokes are rusting, some chrome is getting chipped off somewhere. See, this is where Honda comes in. It is just perfect. You just don't have to worry. So this is what it is. Utter reliability, the quality, the build quality of everything just feels as if it's going to last.
Yeah, but what's with those buttons, the horn and the indicator? It's so confusing.
Yeah, big deal. Big deal. That's about it. This is my review regarding this bike as well. And I hope you liked it. Just an honest review over here.
Hope you guys liked it. And this is Honda, the Hness actually. And let me see if I can get the RS also. This is actually a friend's bike. So Steve, thank you for letting us do this video on your bike. And good choice. Good choice. Thanks for listening to me. Okay. See ya. Elsa, say see ya. That's what people do when they hear Royal Enfield. So this bike has had a fall. All that is damaged is this bar that has taken the entire impact brunt of it, and the lever has gone slightly downwards, and this has bent slightly inwards. Slight brush here. Nothing else. So unfortunately, there's oil on the road, and the zappers aren't very grateful and forgiving. So, but then this is the bike for you. I mean, this is despite the fall. This is amazing.